I'm grateful to God that I'm able to even experience some of these things, because at the end of the day, I don't even know how I even got to experience or have some of the things that I've had. You know what I mean? But I just want to tell somebody and encourage somebody today that hold on, because life is Welcome back. Vlogmas Day 6. Round of applause. Welcome back, guys. Vlogmas Day 6. You may be wondering, what am I doing today? What's the plan for Vlogmas Day 6? Well, you're looking at it. The plan is right here, me. So today is the day of the holiday get-together that I went to, that I've been talking about, that I bought the ugly ornament for. If you guys remember, earlier in the week, I did the ugly ornament party that I was having, and I went and bought an ugly ornament at Hobby Lobby, which was the ramen noodles. And unfortunately, I did not vlog the party because, for one, privacy reasons. Not everybody wants to be on camera. For two, I'll be honest, I'm a new YouTuber. I'm very small. I'm just starting out. And I'm the type where I want something to grow. I want it to grow authentically. And I just did not want people to be in my mix, if you know what I mean. I feel like I want to grow my supporters naturally off of you guys watching. So if you're watching this video, thank you. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and welcome to the family. I'm glad to have you. My name is Patty, Life and with Patty. So if you have seen any of my videos in the past, thank you for returning. If you've never seen my videos, this is your first time seeing me, come follow me. I have a lot to offer, right? So what we're gonna do for Vlogmas Day 6 is gonna be a little different from all the other Vlogmases that we've done so far for the last 6 days. We're not going anywhere today. We're in the crib. I just got back from my ornament party, so I am exhausted. I had a long day today. Did work today as usual. But we're a little mellow tonight. And so I just wanted this video to be a little more on the serious side, because apart from Vlogmas, we just have a couple things that I like to talk about that dawned on me tonight while I was at my party. And yeah, you're probably wondering, if you had a party, you're supposed to be having fun, but it wasn't that kind of party where, it was just all turn up. There was some talking and interacting and thoughts that went through. And, I just felt like I need to come back and share it with the vlog. And I figured that's the reason why we didn't record anything today, because this is going to be more of a motivational, inspirational vlog to push people and move you for the season into the right direction. So before we get there into the real gritty stuff, and get into my sit down, because I've never really had a serious video where I sat down and really talked to my audience on this level. Let's just get the Vlogmas stuff out the way a little bit, right? A little bit. Gotta have a little Vlogmas up in there, because it is day 6. Okay. So my ornament didn't win, but we did a gift exchange kind of with the ornaments. And what we did was we did a raffle. So basically we raffled off the ornaments and everybody got a number. And the number that you selected was going to be your ornament. And so for me, my number was 4. Lucky 4. And so I just want to show y'all my ornament. Look at my ornament that I want. So my neighbor that gave me this ornament, she thought it was ugly. And it's funny because when she gave me the ornament, I was like, that's not ugly. I actually think Elf on the Shelf is really, really cute. And so I fell in love with my keepsake ornament. So let me show y'all the ornament. I opened it up. This is the ornament, guys. Look at it. Tell me this is not cute. Like, look at it. Who would call this ugly? This is gonna be really, really cute on the tree. Once we put the tree up, which we haven't gotten to do it yet. Been too busy. I know. We're in Vlogmas day 6 and no tree. But don't worry, it's coming, y'all. We're a little late this year. But yeah, it was Elf on the Shelf, right? And it had the picture of the elf in there. So she thought this was my ugly ornament, which I thought was really, really cute. And I should have showed y'all, well, no, I did. So if you want to see the ramen noodle ornament that I bought, go back in my vlog. Go back to the Hobby Lobby vlog and fast forward to the part where, well, I like you to watch the whole video. But if you don't want to watch the whole video, because I understand, I get it, YouTube. I know. We don't always sit through all the videos. We don't watch everything. I know how it goes. Y'all scroll, and if it doesn't catch you, you don't stay, okay? But go back. It's worth it to go back and look at my ornament, which was the ramen noodles, which I thought was the ugliest ornament. The one that won was like a little octopus. But anyway, so this was the ornament that I got. And in this ornament, it has a back end. So I can basically open this back end up and put my own picture in here. So I can put a picture of myself or the kids. And it has a little heart and the Elf on the Shelf, and then the keepsake. So this is where my picture would show if I cut out my picture or the kids' pictures, and I put it in here, and it's like a little locket, and you hang it from the tree. I think it's so cute. I fell in love with it instantly when I saw it, and I honestly was like happy that I won it, because honestly I felt like it was the perfect and the best ornament out of all. So I was really excited when I saw that I won the ornament. You know, and then in working today late, so Chanel, my last daughter, had a birthday party today. So we had a lot going on. So she had a birthday party today. So because she had that birthday party today, I was not able to really go all out and get dressed up and do hair and makeup and put on the ugly sweater and do all of that. And I'll be honest with y'all, I just wasn't in the mood because I worked today, like I said, and I was tired. So, I mean, I'm entitled to feel tired. And that's one thing I'm gonna tell you guys. Life is short. Don't push yourself for nothing you don't want to do. You don't feel up to it, don't be up to it. But I know that I promised and I made a commitment for my daughter to go to this party today. So my priority was to just give myself enough energy to take her to this party, get back and go to this ugly ornament contest. And then, to make it worse, I have 3 gifts here. So my daughter Chanel had a she had a what do you call it? She had a holiday shop at her school, and so they gave the kids the opportunity to go shop in the holiday shop and buy gifts for their family. So I gave Chanel money to go to the holiday shop, put it on a digital card for her. So it basically downloaded money onto an account. She went with the code and she was able to shop until she dropped. I told her specifically, don't buy me anything, don't buy Dad anything. Go Christmas shopping and get yourself something and get something for your sisters. And she's like, no, I'm gonna get something for you guys because I feel bad. I said, no. I'm not giving you the money to buy for everybody. Get for your sisters. This is what Chanel come back with. 3 gifts. To Mom from Chanel. To Dad from Chanel. And then another 2 Dad from Chanel with multiple gifts. I could feel it in here. My thing is this. I know I told that child, do not go to school and buy me or Dad anything specifically. Buy for your sister. She's gonna tell me, oh, my sisters are mean, so I don't want to get them anything. Really, Chanel? I told you specifically what I wanted you to do, and you went and did nothing that I told you to do. And if I had told her to go shop for me and Dad, she probably would have went and bought something for herself and her sister. So I'm like, you know, this is just kids. But anyway, that's just how it is. But yeah, so We don't know what's in these gifts. We'll find out what's in the gifts for Christmas because we're going to keep it and not open them until Christmas. But Chanel has got her holiday shopping over with, her Christmas shopping. Comment down below if you guys have gotten your Christmas shopping done yet. We have not completed Christmas shopping yet. We haven't even started. And in any case, in this household, most times, 99% of the time, we do Christmas shopping really late because we got nosy kids that will spoil their holidays and go look for the gifts. And I'll be honest with you, we really don't have a lot of places to hide gifts here. I mean, there is some areas that I can hide some gifts because they're locked off and secured. So basically, if I put it in there and I lock it like in a closet or a room, they won't be able to get in there to access it. But kids are sneaky. I don't know, but I just know kids always find a way to make it happen, and I will be mad if they were to do that. So we'll be holding off on gifts as well, and that's just what it's gonna be. But other than that, we had a good day. Just to get into the more serious stuff that I wanted to talk about. So at the holiday party, we were talking about church, and we were talking about like basically situations and things that people are going through. And one of the topics of conversation was basically that came up was judging. So I don't know why it's very strong on me to talk about this right now, but I feel like it's needed to put it out there. A lot of people come and they talk about going to church. They talk about being good to people, and they talk about being loving, caring individuals and understanding life and what people go through. But at the same time, they don't consider what people may actually be going through or dealing with on a day-to-day. They sit there and they watch people and they judge people based on what they see with the open eye. And I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit because at the end of the day, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know when you see somebody with your bare eyes what's actually going on with that individual. So you may need to practice being nice for this season because you don't know what people are going through. And when it's the holidays, people are going through all kinds of stuff. A lot of people suffer loss. They don't have family members with. Yeah, a lot of people are going through things for the holidays, and you don't know what they are actually going through when you're looking at them with your bare eyes. And so judgment is something that people love to pass on people, right? They can look at somebody and assume they know everything about them. They may make fun of somebody because they feel like, hey, you know, they don't have this or they don't have that, or just think like, you know, in that moment, they may be better than them. And, you know, I say this to say that you never know what your situation is. You might be good today and you might be down tomorrow. I've seen it happen. I've witnessed it happen with people. I know for myself it's happened where there's been times when I was really up, and then there was times when I was really down. Some of the things that I've been through in life, I'm grateful to God that I'm able to even experience some of these things, because at the end of the day, I don't even know how I even got to experience or have some of the things that I've had. You know what I mean? But I just want to tell somebody and encourage somebody today that hold on, because life is really just a process of being patient and growing through what you go through, okay? I mean that. Growing through what you go through. Everything is for a timing. Everything is for a season. Sometimes people come into your life for a season, right? There is a reason for the season. They come into your life to teach you certain things, for you to experience certain things. And sometimes it may not necessarily be good, but it's going to build you up to endure what is to come, or prepare you for the greater that is to come. So I just want to say that as a word of motivation for somebody that may be watching me right now, that this may somewhat connect with. Another thing is, you know, some people look at people and, like for me, for example, You know, I have a beautiful home. I'm grateful to God that I have a beautiful home right now. I'm grateful to God that I came from a beautiful home, because if you know me and you know the home that I've came from, I used to live in Atlanta, Georgia before I moved to Houston, Texas. And when I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, I had a beautiful house. As a matter of fact, I had a bigger house than the one that I have here. You know, when I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, it was just set up differently, but it was still a bigger, technically by square footage house. It doesn't look that way, but it was, you know what I mean? And coming here, we changed and we downsized a little bit, because the reality is we found something that we liked and we fell in love with it. And so we had to adjust ourselves to move into this home, because it was like, we're coming from a way bigger home to a smaller home, but it's not that much smaller. We're probably about 400 square feet smaller, so eliminate a room or something like that. But this was the plan that we liked, and we ended up getting it. The point of the matter is not even the home. The point of the matter is we're grateful that we were even able to be in this position where we could have a home, because coming from where we came from, my husband grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I grew up I started off in Brooklyn, New York, and then I lived most of my life in Long Island, New York. But I had to share when I lived in my house growing up. I didn't have as much as my kids now have, you know what I mean? So we worked together to commit ourselves to give our kids the life that they deserve. But it wasn't always like this. It wasn't always peachy and cream. You know, we had to work to get to where we are. We had to pray a lot. We had to go through a lot of storms and weather those storms and stick together to get to where we are. So it doesn't happen overnight, and it's not that easy. You know what I mean? I'm not a big YouTuber, so YouTube is not paying my bills or giving us a check to pay the rent or the mortgage when we was living in our apartment, or the mortgage now that we're living in a house. You know, YouTube is not paying that bill for us. I mean, we do own our home, you know, and I'm grateful, because I never thought in life that God would bring me to the point to own a home, because the reality is some people, you know, maybe if you're watching right now, never owned a home, never had the opportunity to own a home. You might feel like you never will, but trust me, hold on to that faith, because you never know where life is going to take you. Like I said, it doesn't always have to be a big break for you to get to where you got to go. It can be something small, and you build your way to the top to where you need to be. Honestly, if I could attain this, almost anybody could attain it. So I don't look at it as anything. Like I said, materials mean nothing to me or my family. You see us shopping. We go into Costco. We look at stuff in Costco. You know what I mean? We look for clothes in Costco. If we like it, we're going to buy it. It's a good deal. We're going to pick it up. You know what I mean? Like for me, I was never like a label name, you know, like a label head and into name brands and stuff like that. My husband might be a little different, because he grew up in Brooklyn. So, you know, growing up in the city in New York, you know, almost everybody in the city, in the hood, and all these places in New York, they have designer and all of that on. Me, I grew up in a very simple life. My mom did not fund expensive things. And so for me, I never really cared for it, because it was not a big deal to me. Here and there, I had little things that was nice, but to me, I don't care. It doesn't have to have Gucci or Fendi or Balenciaga or a store from Neiman Marcus or Saks Fifth Avenue. My stuff does not have to come out of these places in order for me to be appreciative to what I have or what I, you know, feel grateful for. As long as I'm clean and I look neat, I was happy with that. And the same thing with my home. As long as your space is yours, make it comfortable. And that's what I did everywhere I moved. When we started in our first place together, well, my first place was in Brooklyn, New York, in Bed-Stuy. So I'm shouting places out. Yeah, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. That's where my first apartment was that I had, that my husband came in with me and shared when we first got together. And that apartment, I loved it. It was my home, right? It wasn't a bad apartment. It was actually really nice, just in the middle of a really bad neighborhood. But at the end of the day, over time things changed. Neighborhood wasn't that bad, but it was still in a location that wasn't the best location to live in, right? And so we moved from there. We went to Queens, New York, and we lived in a house in Rosedale, Queens. And it wasn't even all that great either. It was somebody's house we was renting. It was a nice African family. They were very friendly. They were very welcoming. They gave us the top floor of their home, their 2-story home. And it was very simple. From there, we moved to another location in Rosedale, Queens. And then from there, we just started praying on things and decided we need to change our environment. It's just, we need to change from New York, because living in New York, the hustle and the bustle, is always something happening. And we were renting. And when you're renting from people, it's always something you got to deal with. We were dealing with cigarette smoke, and the people downstairs was smoking, and it was coming upstairs. I was pregnant with my daughter. It was very stressful. And I was like, you know what? It's time for us to make a change. Time to get out of New York. And so we prayed on it, and we made a move, and we went all the way from New York to Atlanta. We didn't know anybody in Atlanta, and we did this move in like 3 weeks from deciding. We sat down, we had dinner at a restaurant in Brooklyn that we were sitting down called Hoya at the time. I don't know if it's still there, but the name of the restaurant was Hoya. And we were talking, and we were like, you know what? We need to change. And I was like, let's get out of New York. Let's go to Georgia, because at the end of the day, the long-term dream and goal is to actually own a home. But we still weren't even in that mindset yet of owning a home, right? And so we made the move, and we went to Georgia. And then from Georgia, we were in Marietta, Georgia. And it was cool. We were like loving it. We were in a townhouse, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We've never had nothing like that coming from New York. We never had anything like that in our life. And we were paying more than less than half the price we were paying for our apartments we was living in New York. Like, our rent in New York at the time was almost $2,200 around. And that was in 2012. We were paying like $2,200 a month for an apartment in New York. And when we moved to Georgia, we were paying like $9 something for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse with 2 floors, dining room, living room, laundry room, given with washer and dryer, which we never had living in New York. And probably still, most people listening to this video right now living in New York knows that's like still impossible to find right now without paying a pretty penny for it. And then we were so excited, but times was hard living there because we just moved from across state lines and we didn't have any money, and Christmas was hard. You know what I mean? And we still had to find a way to make gifts for our kids, and we barely had it to pull it together. At the time, I wasn't even working. And I was pregnant, fully pregnant, like 8 months pregnant. And I was like, we gotta make this work because we done gave up everything and came to Georgia. And so in that struggle, we learned how to live with very little and at the same time provide for a family and look for the greater things in life, And we had some really crazy times, and that I'll get into in another video. But just know when I say this, I mean what I say. When I say people go through some serious struggles in life, and everybody's not perfect. Nobody wakes up rich. You have to go through the process and take some of that pain and turn it into pleasures and grow through some of those pains because you're going through the things that you're going through, but you have to keep your faith in God and know that it's something good gonna come out of your decision. Even though it may look cloudy what's in front of you in that moment. And you might be thinking, what the hell did you do? Because when it came to me and Joe, we were like, man, we need to pack up and go home. And many times we've contemplated and thought about that. But the thing is, if we didn't keep pressing forward, we wouldn't get to where we eventually ended up. And the next step was a nicer apartment. We ended up leaving that place. We went to a nicer apartment, and when we went to that nicer apartment, we were still struggling, and our relationship took a hit. We were going through a lot of stress. Joe was working like 16, 17-hour days. I was home with 3 little babies by myself, trying to make things work. And, you know, it's very hard when you got little baby kids, you know, on your hands with no help, because there's no parents or nothing like that. His mom used to fly in and help me, but not very often. She lived in New York. Everyone we knew lived in New York. And then I was going through a lot of family drama, which is another topic we'll get into another time. But I had a lot of family drama that I was dealing with. And so I was very disconnected from my family as well. And so it was just me and my little kids, and we was pushing through, trying to make ends meet. But at the same time, like I said, our relationship took a toll, and we were on the verge of probably breaking up, you know, like every other couple that goes through real life stuff. See, I'm real, guys. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to sit here on this platform and pretend like everything is glitter and gold, like what a lot of people do, because social media can do that to you. I'm very transparent and very honest. That's why I'm like, if you're watching me and you're following me, come to my channel, grow to my channel, get to know me, because trust me, I'm authentic. I'm not going to give you things that's not real. You know what I mean? And that's something you find very rare in these days and times, where people are going to be real and honest with you and open. So, you know, from there, we ended up thinking about buying a house. In our brokest of broke moments, we were thinking about buying a house. I don't know. It's like when God put things on your heart, it's like you got to do it, right? But you don't know how. And so I met a guy in my apartment complex that was buying a house, and he was close with me and Joe. And he was a young guy. His wife was young as well, just like us. And he was like, yeah, I'm buying a house. And one day he showed me the house. He pulled out his phone because he was so proud of this house he was buying. And it was like grand. When I seen the house, it looked like a mansion to me, because I'm coming from, remember, the start that I'm coming from is New York. I wasn't used to all of that. So when he pulled out his phone and he showed me the house, it was like a mansion, and it had a huge island. It was beautiful, and it was on a golf course in Georgia. And I was like, oh my God, where is this? You know what I mean? I was shocked. And it's funny because it wasn't too far from where my husband was working. And I was like, man, we got to take a drive down there and look at that neighborhood. And so Joe and I got in the car one day, you know, because he met up with Joe one day. He showed Joe the house as well. And we took a drive down to the neighborhood, and we looked at it, and we were shocked because we did not know this existed in Georgia. Because when you're so caught up in your environment, you're not focused on anywhere else but where you are. You don't realize there's so much more to life outside of where you are. And so when we got in the car and we drove out and we seen that neighborhood, we were like, damn, this is nice. And we just started making it a thing, looking at homes and manifesting homes. And I was like, man, this is beautiful. You know, I just did not think in that moment still that we could own something like that. And then it fell on Joe's heart. Hey, why don't we find out if we could get a house? And I was like, nah, look, we struggling right now. What house we gonna get? You know, that was the mindset I was in at the time. And then I was like, you know what? It won't hurt to look, you know? And it's so funny because we ran into the guy again, because like I said, he lived in the same building as us, but he was getting ready to move. And he told me, he said, hey, I just want to give you my number because I'm getting ready to leave. And I wanted to give you my number so you and your husband, y'all could keep up with me and my wife. And I was like, okay, cool. And he gave us his number. And with his number, he said, you should call my realtor, because it's possible that you might be able to get a house as well. It's real easy to get this. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, nah. He's like, how much you pay for rent here? He's like, what you got? A 3-bedroom? I said, yeah. He's like, what you paying for rent here? He said, because my house, my mortgage for my house is less than the rent that we're paying right here. And so I told him what I was paying for rent, and he was like, my mortgage is less than that on this nice house that you looking at. I said, get out of here. He was like, yeah. The mortgage is less than what you're paying here. He's like, if you could be giving these people your money, you need to go try to get you a house and put that money in your house. That's yours at the end of the day. You're going to get that money back if you decide to sell it. And a light bulb went off in my head when he told me that, because I was just in shock, because I'm in awe. Because guess what? Seeing is believing. I'm watching this man's house on his phone, and I'm saying to myself, this is a beautiful house. And to think that he's not paying a quarter of what I'm paying for rent to live in that, who is going to say no to something like that? And so when I had the conversation with Joe and I gave him the realtor's number and I told him about it, one day we're shopping in the mall. And we're doing Christmas. It's so crazy. I think it was around Christmas time and we were doing Christmas shopping. No, hold on. It wasn't Christmas time. It was a little bit after Christmas. But we were doing shopping. For whatever reason, we were in the mall. And Joe said, I'm going to call that realtor. It kept dawning on him. Call the realtor. I'm going to call the realtor. And he went ahead and he called the realtor. And the realtor's like, I'm not going to talk. It's all good that you got my information from such and such, but I'm not going to talk to you until you have a pre-qualification to qualify for the house. And so when he heard that, instantly it was discouraging, because it's like, the position we're in, who's going to qualify us for a house? You know what I mean? Like, we never thought, like I said, coming from New York, we never thought we could own a house, right? So I'm shopping and Joe comes into the store. We were, I think, in Macy's. And he's like, I'm going outside. I'm about to go make a call. And I said, who are you going to call? He's like, I'm going to call the mortgage guy. I said, how are you going to call a mortgage lender? And we can't even buy the house. He's like, well, you don't know if we could buy the house or not. So he went out and he made the phone call and he spoke to the lender. And I'm sitting in the store waiting for him to come back. And in my head, I'm like, why is he wasting my time right now? And so he comes back in and he goes, he said we could qualify for a house. I said, get out of here. He's like, yeah. He looked myself up and he said we could qualify for a house. We just got to take care of a couple of expenses, which is some bills and stuff that was owing. But fortunately, we were in the position at the time to work on that and take care of it. And that's what we did. We was like determined. It gave us a little faith the size of a mustard seed. It was a little bit of faith given to us that we had the possibility of owning a home in that moment by that lender. And that is what we rode on. And it was smooth sailing from there, because when he told us we can approve for a home, he gave us an approval amount. And we was on it, back with the realtor. Hey, we got our approval. Back on the road. And it's so crazy. I was looking at homes online and I was writing down addresses that I wanted her to go take me to see. And the addresses that I was writing down, the one that we ended up picking was just happened to be one of the addresses I had written down. But the catch was, we didn't go look at any of the houses that I had written down. We went and looked at houses she was taking us to. And it just so happened that one of the homes she took us to see was one that was written down as the address. So it was like divine order right there that we were supposed to get that house. And it's so crazy because that was the first house we seen and we couldn't see. We saw like 2 houses after that. We were like, nope, that's the one. And that was the house we ended up going with. The house wasn't built yet. We had to build it from the ground. It was dirt, but we had the address, and the address was all we went on. And the blueprint of what the house would look like from the model. And we ended up building that house. We chose that house and we lived in that house. 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 3,500 square feet, an acre of land. We were shocked. And we was paying less than what we was paying in an apartment. So at the time, it was like a shell shock because we couldn't believe that little us who was struggling, who went from renting, who went from living in the situations we were going through to actually owning a home, all in a matter of 2 years. So it's like you have to keep looking forward in life because you never know where it's going to take you. And then from that house, we lived for 7 years. And from that house, we end up moving to Houston and starting our new chapter. I'm just saying that to say, In life, it's funny. You don't know where you're going to be. You can be up today, down tomorrow. Don't look at others and laugh at them. Don't look at others' struggles and make that your topic of conversation when you meet up with your friends. Oh, they struggling. They going through this. They going through that. They don't have this. They don't have that. Look at what they driving. Their car is this. Their kids is wearing old clothes. Whatever it is that you may see somebody going through, and you use that as your topic to pat yourself on the back to feel good. Because I'm telling you, God has a funny sense of humor, and he will turn things around. And when you want things to work in your favor, you got to be good to people, because you never know how that good is going to work out and come back to you. And when you're in a situation, don't look at it as bad and negative, because God is going to turn that situation around, and it's going to be positive eventually. You're going to feel good about yourself in that situation. So I say this to say, stay positive, stay true, stay connected, stay consistent, and stay in hope and love that God is going to take you to where you need to be in life. I don't know who I'm reaching out to. You're probably watching me and don't know me from a hole in the wall. But I'm just going to say this to you and let you know to hold on. Whatever you're going through, hold on. Trust me, it's only for a moment. It's a test to strengthen you, to get you to where you need to be, which is your next step. And know that everybody's going through something. There's no such thing as a perfect life out here. Everybody's going through something in some way, shape, or form. Some people hide it better than others. Some people pretend better than others. Some people fake it till they make it in their minds. Some people may actually be living that good life, but it may change in an instant because they don't know how to be appreciative, how to be grateful, or how to show love to others as well. How to share, how to support your friends, how to put your hand down to pull somebody up with you. Some people are not like that. They just look at it for what they can get out of situations. And when you're like that, nothing good is going to come out of it for you. So I leave you guys with this video. I don't want to go too much longer. It is already a long video, but I just want to tell you guys, if you listen to my story, thank you for listening. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Please remember this message that I'm putting out here, because we're going into the holiday season. It is Vlogmas Day 6. But at the end of the day, we're going into the holiday season. We have to learn to be nicer to others, and we have to learn to live going into the new year authentic to ourselves with our goals and our plans in mind, so we can execute it when the new year comes. Because many times we put New Year's resolutions and we don't hold to it. So I say this to motivate somebody for next year. This year may not be your year, but next year may be your year, or this year may actually be your year, but you got to hold on a little longer, another day, another 2 weeks, another 3 weeks till the end of the year. Hold on to walk into your destiny. Don't give up yet. Don't walk away yet. Stay in faith and know that you are more than capable. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Vlogmas Day 7 tomorrow. Peace. Bye.